Yes, yes, yes. Sway in the morning, Shade 4-5. Man, we got a highly respected individual in here, Heather B. Man, this is a guy who I consider to be a family member, Heather B. Oh, man, this dude has been nominated for everything and even won a Grammy, Heather B.
He even put me in one of his videos.
What?
There you go, back me up now.
All right, now
Wow.
we've been called the best DJ of the year by Paper Magazine. This dude right now, man, he's breaking a lot of folks out of their fear of doing things they never thought they can do, but when they're around him, they do them anyway. This man has made me jump in the air higher than any other celebrity has ever done in my life. Yeah, well, I did
Because
get
your
out-
knees was a little sore
Come on, man.
afterwards.
But the way he positions it makes it look like I jump high. Now, I called him a celebrity, but I don't even consider him a celebrity. I just think he's a beautiful spirit. He got his new memoir,
for him to
Blue,
join in.
The Color of Noise, is out now, right now. Give it up for Steve Aoki, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do this. He never even got, he didn't catch on. All right, man, how you been, brother?
Yes.
Whoa, from the top. I'm good. I'm good.
You been
I'm
good?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, what's been up with you, man? So you finished the memoir. I remember
Yeah.
hearing about this.
Yeah, so, I released my doc with Netflix a few years back.
Yes.
I'll Sleep When I'm Dead. And after the reception, after seeing the response from people about the doc and how it's, when you watch the documentary, it's not really like an EDM culture doc. It's more like my story with my family. And there's a lot of synergies with, other people's stories with their fathers or how they want to try to make it or break it, in that process. I started feeling like all that love and I really wanted to talk more about that. I think that's when I took that step forward and decided to really make the memoir. I was writing a bunch of stuff, but I wanted to finally like tell my side of the piece, tell my side of the story, instead of a director telling the narrative.
Let me ask you. I mean, you've been in the public eye a long time, critically acclaimed, all those things that I know don't really move you. That's not why you do it. You don't do it for the acclaim. You're one of those people, I feel like you put energy out, you put creativity out there so people can experience for their own selves, interpret it how they want to interpret it, and hopefully the end result is something positive or transformative for you,
Right.
for that person. I've kind of been wrestling with telling Heather and I, we talk about this a lot, telling my story or telling our story. In this case, my story of my partner, King Tech, and I, who just left, and DJ Revolution, who had just left. I don't know how to go about doing it because there's so many layers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, how do you pick and choose? Because there's so many stories.
Yeah.
And that was, I'd say, one of the most difficult parts of this whole process. I mean, from the inception of starting this idea to write a memoir to then, like, after the doc, I was like, okay, now I have to really do this. And then picking what to choose, how to tell that story. It's so hard because there's so many stories.
Yeah.
And it's not like you're not doing the memoir, you're not doing it to shout out certain people. You're doing it to guide people on a journey of what it is that you're, for me it's all about Blue, right? So I was thinking, okay, this is different shades of my life. But the story I want to tell is not a story of the later what people know of Steve Aoki now.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I fly in a private jet. It's not like that exciting to talk about. What I want to talk about is how did I get from point A to point B when I didn't have the opportunities or the success or the access, or what is, like, it's actually, the book is a lot about failure. The book is a lot about when I really boil it down, I'd say 70% of the 70% of the time is failure. 30% of the time would be the success rate for me.
How do you evaluate failure? Because is it based on you made a plan and it didn't turn out the way you expected it?
Exactly.
Okay.
But then, just I'd say that's the best way to put it. But like the failure is, exactly. It's like you try something, it doesn't amount to what you expect, but obviously you learn, you adjust, and you move forward from that. But I mean, or failure is trying to do a collaboration with an artist and it doesn't come through.
Okay.
So or if you're an actor, if you're in entertainment, you do a casting. You have to expect that you're gonna get like maybe 1 out of the 10 that you do.
Mm-hmm.
It's like understanding, managing expectations. I think that's like one of the biggest lessons I learned in this whole career is managing my expectations and being able to understand that, it's okay when things don't happen and be grateful for what you got and make the most of what that is. And I think a lot of it boils down to I talk a lot about my roots when I first started getting into music, because before I was a DJ, I was in bands. I was in rock bands. I was playing in small rooms, living rooms, basements, and I was excited to play in front of 10 people. To play in front of 30 people would be like me playing at a festival.
Yeah, that's big, right? 30 people.
It's like
that's ultra for you, right?
So like when you put that in context, it's like that's success for me to have 20 more people.
Mm-hmm.
It's all like a mindset, So, I you have to think about what's in front of you. What's your focus is who you're talking to instead of what you don't have, like what you do have, right? So, I don't know. I feel like it's for all the young people, even the older people that are stuck in a rut. There is a good takeaway out of this book on at least my story on how I was able to get from point A to point B to point D and so forth.
The Blue, The Color of Noise. This is the book by Steve Aoki. It's a memoir. When I listen to you, as I'm staring in your eyes as you talk, I'm imagining some of the things you say that you're telling us, and how difficult it was to just even select these stories, and then scenarios that didn't turn out the way that you hoped, and that causes you to manage your expectations. Which was one of the most difficult stories for you to tell in this memoir?
I do lay out a lot of I do talk about my father's death.
Okay.
That was really hard. I talk about AM's death. That was really difficult for me.
Mm-hmm. How did you approach it, though? Did you just say what you felt, or did?
So yeah, I mean, a lot of this book was like almost a therapy session, because that's one of the greatest things for me as just to understand myself better is writing it all down.
Okay.
Because you have thoughts, and sometimes you're afraid to just confront a lot of these feelings that you have, because I know how you are too. You keep going, you know what I mean? And when you deal with something that's really heavy, the easiest thing to do is just keep moving forward with what the other stuff that you're doing, right? Yeah. But with this book, I had to stop and I had to really go into myself and process my feelings and my emotions. And you learn so much more about yourself. You learn when you contain and you stop. It's not like you're effectively writing for a speech, or you're effectively writing for something that you're going to do, on the mic. It's like you need to learn more about, like what hurt you, why do I love longevity and this idea of to live forever. It's like I didn't really stop to think about it until I really, sat myself down and remembered the time when I was sitting with my father at, right before he died in the hospital.
Wow.
And then going into those stories of my kind of distant but strange relationship with my dad, because I love my dad, but I wasn't close with him, but then I felt like I was close with him. There's a lot of that going on, and it was really good for me.
It was therapeutic.
It was very therapeutic. It's like great for me just to put that out there just for myself.
Because when you're remembering and you start reflecting, and then all these old emotions or these tucked away emotions start coming out, and sometimes I remember things not quite like the way it truly was, or I wasn't looking at the full picture or ramifications of that moment, and so then you still got to deal with it, right? So even writing these stories, you still had to fully deal with those moments. Yeah,
and it's it's like my life is so busy, I'm doing so many shows. Like this was very, very important for me to be able to sit down and break down that, those vulnerable moments that are a large part of the decisions, that I've you know, the kind of journey that that's pushed me to where I am right now.
Steve Aoki, man. Blue is the name of the memoir, The Color of Noise, man. Order this thing online right now. Just in this conversation, I got to read it from front to back. You also got a new release. You're releasing tomorrow called Let It Be Me with Backstreet Boys. Am I not mistaken?
Yeah.
The hell?
Wow. Couldn't have chosen Sync.
I mean, don't do that, Tracy. Or B2K, but don't do that. I love Backstreet Boys. I'm just joking, man. But it's just like something you always wanted to do, or what made this collaboration happen?
Well, you know me. I mean, I work across the board.
Yeah.
I love working with all kinds of artists, and the Backstreet Boys. You know, I grew up. We grew up listening to them. You know, everyone knows Backstreet Boys. And a lot of the times with these collaborations, it comes with a good bond and chemistry, just human to human connection. You know, like I met them a few years back. They're just like super cool to me, and we stayed in touch, brought them to my house, and we started vibing out on some music. And then when the vibe is right, then we're gonna start making the sauce. So
I like that, the sauce.
So I mean, this particular song though is a really heartfelt, emotional song.
Okay.
This is not like the club banger. This is a song that, like, I actually can't wait for people to see the music video for this one, because it's a tearjerker for sure.
Okay. You didn't bring the song with you by any chance, did you?
It comes out tomorrow.
Okay, all right, man. Well, damn it, today is tomorrow, man. What we doing now? So you didn't bring it with you?
No, man.
Okay, we do got the song with Timmy Trumpet and Dr. Funk. I say Alba, but is that how you pronounce it?
Alba. Yeah.
Alba? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's play that. We're going to come back, open up these phone lines, 888-742-3345. Sway in the morning, Shade 45. Steve Aoki is here, Alba featuring Timmy Trumpet and Dr. Funk. The new memoir is Blue, The Color of Noise. So appreciative of you being so introspective and sharing it with the world, Steve. Tracy, I know you got a question for him.
Oh, yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Wasn't expecting that,
I'm wondering, because you're so humble, we meet so many artists, and like literally their goal is to be called a legend. You know what I mean? But then you have some other folks where it just feels uncomfortable holding that title in their hands. But we all consider you to be that. But I'm just wondering, are you comfortable considering yourself as a living legend?
I know for a fact that I have so much more work I need to do to even consider that title. I mean, there's just I just like, I think one of the things I've learned, because I'm so lucky to be able to travel around the world and get to experience so many different cultures and people, and I just realized I am like an ant. And I know so little.
Yeah.
You think you know so much, and then you step into a different country and you meet different people. And one thing that I've been doing in the last, I'd say 8 years, because I was touring a lot before then, and I was literally zooming by. I mean, before, when I used to drink and tour, it would be like I would just see the hotels and the clubs, and then get to the plane, and I didn't really care about where I was going. I didn't really see where I was going. And then there was this when I stopped drinking, and I had this clarity of like, wow, I am really experiencing the world at a level that people would dream about. So like at first I was like, okay, I'm going to see all the sights, do all the stuff. But then I'm like, there's so much to the world than just music and what I'm seeing. I want to meet scientists. I want to meet researchers. I want to meet people that are on the cusp of breakthroughs that are going to change, the world. And now, because I have a bigger platform, I'm so lucky to be able to sometimes sit in these rooms with people that are going, we found, like just recently, I talked to this one doctor, the other convention, because I live in Vegas, and we have a blood test now that you could find. Sorry, I'm digressing here, but you could find on a cellular level, on a single cellular level, 16 different kinds of cancers. So you can find, you could from that blood test, you can have such an early preventative detection of cancer on 16 different markers of cancer.
Wow.
On a single cell.
Wow.
So it's crazy, and that just happened, I think, this year. So first thing I did was that was the Christmas present for my family.
Aww.
Like, let's get the detection tests. They're like $500-600. But like,
Damn, that's an ill Christmas present. Damn,
Hell
man.
yeah.
That beat them socks you gave me last year.
Shut up.
I think the whole point is that like, I don't consider myself like, that's not important to me, those titles. What's important to me is that we all have curiosity, and we just need to be able to know that we can get there. We
Tap
can get the
in.
access as long as we push forward and forward towards that. So for me, I just feel very, very lucky and fortunate to hang out with you guys.
Oh, thank
You
you.
know, to work with amazing artists from all different genres, hip hop. You know, starting to work with some country artists. Obviously, you just heard a song like Hava. That's a Hava Nagila.
Yeah,
You know, it's
right.
like it's fun to do traditional songs. Backstreet Boys, and then also, I want to do a song with Elon Musk. You know, I want to do a song with. I want to work and be in the room, melting minds with people that are just doing fascinating, interesting things around the world.
Wow, that's amazing. Steve Aoki, man. Blue, The Color of Noise is the memoir. We got a couple callers. Quick question, quick answer. Drez in Texas. What you like to say, Drez?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up, bro?
What up?
Hey, I actually had the privilege of getting some VIP tickets. Stevie Aoki, I don't remember if you remember, you did a concert with Waka back in Miami at Fontainebleau.
Yeah.
It was absolutely bananas. But no, I was just wondering about the cake thing, like how that came to be, because yeah, that was it was a crazy night.
Yeah, so I mean, just like you said, how'd that come to be? You know, when people think of the cake, they think of Steve Aoki, right?
Yeah, throwing a
So-
cake in their face.
Right. So, like for me as an artist, I want to do a show that's not only entertaining, but I want it to be uniquely Steve Aoki. So, you know, you thinking about different stuff. Some guy can throw like Kleenex boxes in the crowd and be like, "Yo, that's the dude that throws Kleenex boxes in the crowd." You know, because there's a Kleenex box in front of me. But, you know, like you always want to do something that's unique to you, and that was really silly idea from a music video that was on my label from an artist called Autoerotic back in 2011. These cakes were exploding in people's faces. And I'm like, yo, I want to cake someone at a show when I dropped the song. So I went to a bakery and scribbled "Turn Up the Volume," the name of the song. It went out, you know, people were confused. They didn't know what I was doing, was walking around, pacing around the front stage with a cake. And then, the story goes, this one kid wants it in his face. His friends are clamoring all over him. I caked him. We threw it up on, good old YouTube before Instagram, 2011, right?
2011, yeah.
And, it just went viral. I did it every single show. Consistency is the key to branding on, something that that you want to build your brand. And, we have 15,000 people being cake faced at this point now, over at least
15,000.
At least, yeah.
Wow, you got 15. How much does that cost you?
About 10 I do 10 cakes a show.
Okay.
250 shows a year.
Okay, so you did the math. So how
So
much
at least
money?
15,000 cakes, but it's not out of my pocket.
Who pays for it? The promoter?
Yeah.
Oh, my man, Steve Aoki. Oh, man.
Part of the production,
Man,
Sway.
okay.
Well,
Brad, you're a citizen, man.
Yeah, so I have a cake writer. So you have like my stage writer. I got my stage requirements, like my DJ booth, and then for you want to book Steve Aoki, you got to deal with Steve Aoki's cakes.
You got to buy them cakes, kid. Cake.
Cake.
Yami's on the line from Miami. Yami, what's up? She's one of our
Yami.
citizens.
Yes.
Yami, go ahead.
Hey, you guys. Love you guys. I'm going to make it quick. Steve, I met you I got to see you at the RC Cola plant for Miami Music Week. And quick 2 questions. One, are you doing the RC Cola plant again next year? And then 2, do you ever think you'll ever do something with a mix of classical music? Because I really like how you try to do in different genres.
I appreciate that. Classical, yeah, I did this one Brahms kind of a remix of a Brahms record, 2012. It's called Fat Brahms. So check that out for the classical joint. But yes, I have a collab with a pianist that was on Neon Future 3, and I'm working with this other pianist from Asia, from China, called Lang Lang. He's an incredible pianist, and we're working on a song together for Neon Future 4. And as far as my show in Miami, we haven't scheduled anything, but I plan to be out there for that. So keep tabs on me, and I'll post it up.
Yami, thanks for your call. Hope you're doing well. You know you're a super citizen.
This way in the morning.
Yo, Steve, man, I always love when you come up here, bro. You always got a lane. This is Steve Aoki in the morning, bro. This is your show now. You know what I mean? Like anytime you want to come up here, you can.
Thanks, Sway.
But we always have our conversations aren't interviews to me. They're like catching up with a friend.
Yeah.
Because we you're moving so much. We're always moving in different directions. But man, I appreciate your transparency and how you've shared your experiences in your life so openly. I got to learn how to do that, but we're all learning from it. And so I want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Blue, the color of noise, and thank you for getting up this morning.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
That new single, Let It Be Me, that we couldn't play today, will be out tomorrow.
Why he ain't come tomorrow?
Good point, Heather. All right, but the interview will be if you want to hear the interview, you can hear it back now on demand at SiriusXM.com/on
demand.
But we will be posting it tomorrow. So it's just this dude is a Brandon genius. He knew if he came today, we'll be posting tomorrow, the same day that the song is out. Drive numbers to the song. He did this on purpose, Heather.
Okay.
All right, Steve Aoki, how can they reach you, bro?
Steve, I put my cell number up on my Instagram. You text me.
Why?
Why not?
Do it now. What's my
cell number? Hold on.
Hey, yo, matter of fact, if you're tuned in right now, call them or text them right now.
Okay, don't call me, but you could text me. It's 310-340-7892.
Say it again.
Shoot me a text. 310-340-7892.
I want every citizen to see if this works. Send a text right now. What is it again?
310-340-7892.